This is December 24th, and there is Christmas Eve was in our family a time when we would open the presents because I grew up in India for the most part, and Christmas Day there was a church service. And of course, and there was frequently a Christmas program, which was practiced and presented. If there was food, there was a sermon introducing people to Jesus. But the whole concept of a Christmas as a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, it's a great way, celebrating a birthday, to introduce people to someone. So we celebrate the birthday of Jesus Christ. We invite people. We have a birthday party for Jesus Christ, and we invite lots of friends, neighbors, and they come, and then in the service there's a message that tells people who Jesus is and what Jesus has done for them. So just that result of all of that, December 24th was our present opening time, and we would do all of that then December 24th evening, and. So there was a song, Perry Como had a song, Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, da, 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 with a choral background, of course, la la la, la la la, la la la, da da da, da da da, of the gifts so receive Christmas Eve. And then, of course, there was the poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Now, because 'Twas the Night Before Christmas was Clement Moore's poem, actually the correct title of it is A Visit from St. Nicholas, but which is important because, see, Santa Claus, Santa is saint, that Santa is the Dutch and the saint is the English, and son in other languages. And this sanctimony, sanctified, see, these are all words from that root. And the Saint Nicholas, who is this person? Saint Nicholas was a bishop in the fourth century in what is now Turkey. Now, he became famous because of giving gifts. He was following the example of the wise men who came to give gifts to Jesus. But the people he gave gifts to were in particularly two ways. Number one, there were some poor families with daughters that they were trying to get married off, and it was the custom to give a dowry, but the poor families didn't have money for a dowry, so they were wondering what they were going to do, how they were going to pay a dowry for their daughter. So he anonymously gave for these dowries. Now, the reason he did it anonymously is because the Bible actually says to do that. So it says not to trumpet your almsgiving, but to do it secretly. And if your Father who sees in secret, God who sees in secret, will reward you openly. So Nicholas was following the scripture by giving anonymously. And but some people found out. Another thing is there were some poor families that he was trying to help and give gifts. How do you give that anonymously? Well, one thing you can do is you can put the money in a bag, and then you can toss it through an open window into their house and run around the corner. Well, that may work, and but after it happens several times, then, and particularly if you're getting a little older and can't run as fast as you could before, some people may figure out who did it, and they found out it was him, and so he became Saint Nicholas, the one who was celebrating the birth of Jesus by following the example of the wise men who gave gifts to Jesus. And so he was so he got associated with Christmas that way. And so when you see Santa Claus, you see this picture. Now, this is not what St. Nicholas looks like. That picture of the red and white outfit. That comes from W. Clement Moore's poem. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings all hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all safe in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Mom in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had all settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. I ran to the window, threw up the sash, tore open the shutters, threw up the sash, lost the line there. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. And so that's the original poem. Now, in St. Louis, when I was in college there and exploring the county library system, I happened to come across I was doing children's literature, and I happened to come across, because of an education degree, and I came across a Sesame Street Christmas album, that vinyl album that had a wonderful parody of this poem, better than the original as far as I'm concerned. And it was done by one of the poets called David, but here we are. "'Twas the night before Christmas on Sesame Street, and the people were asleep because the people were beat. The snow had been falling for most of the day, and it lay over everything sooty and gray. Now I was asleep with a gift to my mammas, a warm, woolly pair of red flannel pajamas. Now what should await me from out of my dreams but a crash and a bang and a couple of screams? Up from my bed I arose with a shout, and I ran to the window just check to see now. The noise might have come from a mischievous kid or grouchy old Oscar flipping his lid. But when I get I saw, he looks out the window. What you put me away, there was a little guy there with a sleigh, with a chubby old guy, kind of smiling and cute, with a white flowing beard and a heavy red suit. So I jumped out of bed, ran on out, because I had to discover what this was about. When I got to the street, this old dude said to me, "Please pardon the noise. I ran into a tree. I ruined my sled, locked the shoes off my feet, and the toys from my bag are all over the street." From the way he spoke, it was easy to dig that this cat simply had to be somebody big. So I told him, "No problem, I'll lend you my sled and an old pair of boots I keep under my bed." When we picked up a street full of toys, he said, "Great, I'm happy. I'm hassled and rushed and terribly late. So I got to split, there's appointments to keep, and baby, it's time you were getting to sleep." Then he says, how do I know that you'll bring my sled back?" Well, this sucker just giggled with all of his might, and he jumped on my sled, and he drove out of sight. I called after him, "Hey man, don't put me on, please tell me your name." But by then, he was gone. The street was deserted, nobody was there. The toys on the sled disappeared in thin air. Now, there's only one fella who flies Christmas night, so I knew that the fat guy was Santa Claus, right? It made me kind of proud, because you better believe that I was the hero of that Christmas Eve. Next morning, I woke and yawned out of bed, and under the tree was a shiny new sled. That's how I helped Santa on one Christmas visit. That's only a story I made up. Or is it?